The front compartment, because it's a 3-compartment design for the Type 3s, the front hood opens up with a latch that's just underneath here that you pull back on, and that latch opens up the front hood here. The front hood again doesn't have any trim along the front of it, and inside has some unique features for the early cars. One of which, the most recognizable of course, is that the water bottle for the windshield washer is here, located on the left side in front, along next to the clear brake reservoir bottle. So in the later years, in '64, there was a hole that was put in here where this mounted underneath this valance here for apparently a different reason. Over here you have the VIN plate stamped with the VIN number in it, and then you have on this side you have the gas filler with the beetle cap, and you'll notice there's no jack port here to store a jack. And the reason for that is, in the early year, the variants were considered models that had cargo capacity. So when we were fitting jacks to these, they used a large bus jack. And that's what this green canvas bag is. They were originally green to match the green toolkit bag, but the canvas bag allowed you to store that large bus-like, I think it was the same as the bus as well, but it's a jack that's a full-size jack that allows you to jack up the car. It's a Bilstein jack, and it went in this case here, in this canvas bag, and tied off, and was just stored inside the front of the front compartment. This is an accessory toolkit. This you could get at a dealership. It wasn't standard equipment with the Type 3s. And those were available through a couple of different models with the car. The inside of the front compartment has a liner, a vinyl liner that protects everything, so that you have a nice storage facility for bags, luggage, whatever it might be. Inside the spare tire mount area here, you have a single horn and a air pressure sticker to show you how to keep the tires filled up. The engine compartment area is underneath. There's a trap door underneath the rear cargo mat. So when you see a variant, you'll notice it and be able to tell it, because it has this canvas strap here, and it has an oval hole to store the strap's hook. And so this canvas strap is designed to lift up and mount to the top of this gutter rail here. So when we go to open up the engine lid, the trap door, we're going to open these two clips here, and we're going to lift up the engine lid and mount that hook to the drip rail. This is unique to the variants, and it allows you access to the engine area without having to take the deck lid trapdoor out. Once it's open, you can see that it has a foil insulation tucked underneath there. And then the engine itself on the early years was a single carbureted 32 PHN carb motor. This was a 45 horsepower, 6 volt, 1500 cc motor that had some pretty unique features for it. The single carburetor is a side draft carburetor. You can see it going into the air cleaner boot right there. It's a side draft style to allow for a flatter engine design. You'll notice it doesn't have a Type 3 fan shroud. All of the fan work comes through a boot through the back of the car. So the louvers on the side of the fenders allow air to force into the crank through this center boot area. Early engines have a 2-piece fuel pump and a 4R6 distributor, which was used in the early years. 6-volt generator, 6-volt Bosch coil, and you can see the intake here going across both sides of the motor. The air cleaner came in either a man or a necked style. In this case, this is the necked style air cleaner with a logo in different locations for the two different air cleaners that connected up with a tube to the oil breather here. And you can see this is a special one for 63. Mid 63 came out with a metal tube here that joined the oil breather to the air cleaner. Before that, it was just a hose with a spring that prevented it from kinking. And in 63, they changed it to a metal tube. The air cleaner then joins up with a 4-rib air cleaner boot secured down by clamps that allow it to access that air. And down in the bottom here, you can see the muffler system has a rounded shape here for the heat exchangers going up into the motor. And on the left side, it has a preheat pipe that comes off of that muffler side. You can see it right there, connecting up to the intake. So allow the intake to have preheated air to start the car when it's cold. The last portion of an early engine is this 3-bolt design. There's 2 on this side and 1 on the other side that allows that fan shroud cover to access the fan belt underneath it. In later years, they came out with a clip design that mounted to the outside edge here that made it faster and easier than having to take apart the bolts. So this is an early engine, single carbureted motor that's in all 62 and 63 variants, and has some pretty unique features.